Okay, you can start.
Thanks, Kausar.
Thank you.
So, good afternoon or good morning, everyone. I suppose, depending on where you are on the planet, East Coast, West Coast, everything in between. So, this lovely community of students who practice adaptive yoga is quickly becoming global. And so a special welcome to those of you who may be checking out the class for the first time. I think you'll be delighted to realize how much we can do seated in a chair. And so for those of you who have been coming back, special appreciation to you as well. So really the challenging part is actually getting here. So I sometimes joke and I say it took me about 40 plus years, but here we are today. And some of the best advice I was ever given before I traveled to India by a friend who's Indian, from someplace in India, large country. I asked him if he had any advice for me, and he said, be where your feet are. And so to this day, I carry that part in my mind. And so an invitation this morning, today, to be where your feet are. So I'd like to invite you to just roll your shoulders back and down a few times. And then an invitation to soften your gaze. So you might move your gaze down. And then to bring your hands together in prayer pose. So it might be palms together, maybe palms open at your heart center. And so the middle of our chest, sometimes in yoga, is referred to as our heart center. And so take a moment, if this placement of your hands makes you lose your balance, an invitation to choose another placement for your hands. And so we never forfeit balance to come into a pose or movement. And then as ready, if you like, lift your heart to your hands, bow your head to your heart. And an invitation to allow yourself to consciously enter into the present. Setting aside whatever concerns, worries you may have had before the class for the duration, knowing that you can come back to that after class. And as ready, relax your arms by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. And then shake your hands vigorously. And so if shaking your hands vigorously hurts, move in a way that feels right for you. So more gentle and reaching up to the sky, waving to our ancestors. And then coming forward a little bit, saying good day. Reaching up one more time. And so I often love to share the story about the woman who was in my class who lived to be over 100 years old. We were doing this practice one morning and she said, I feel like my ancestors are waving back. And so just like you're shaking water off your hands, let your arms hold down by your side. Reach up one more time if you'd like. Up, up, up towards the sky. And this time with a big ha sound or a yawn if you'd like. Woohoo, yoga time. And so a little bit of housekeeping. So I like to sometimes introduce yoga, what I refer to as yoga toys, not yoga props, into the class. So they're yoga toys in my yoga toy box. And so one of them might be a yoga mat. And so yoga mat, this is an oldie, but a goodie. I sometimes like to roll it up and place it along my spine. And the idea with that is it can help counter some of the collapsing that most of us do in our chest. And so also as an alternative, it might feel really lovely to lean back on for your final relaxation at the end of the class. Another yoga toy that I like to use is a block. So this is a foam block covered in some material, and it can feel amazing placed between your feet. So what that does is encourage an approximate hip distance apart. And so I know I have a friend who has a pommel. She's a wheelchair user, and I think it's called a pommel, that keeps her feet hip distance underneath. So she's nicely in line. Lastly, today, I hope to practice some shoulder openers using a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, I have a scarf today. Whatever you can hold on to, if that works for you, that you can pull against. And so you might want to grab that now if you'd like. And if you don't have one, no worries. We can always find an alternative. And so let's repose. So an invitation to soften your gaze. So maybe looking downward. Ground down through your sits bones. So maybe notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Our Buddha belly is soft. Spine is long. Shoulders back and down just a few times. Lift up through the crown of your head. So maybe imagine you have a thread on the crown of your head and it's pulling you up to the sky. Tuck your chin in slightly. So our chin is level with the floor of the earth. So allow your facial muscles to soften and release. Our attention moves inward. So placing your hands in a triangle around your navel center if you'd like. And so maybe noticing that as we inhale, things expand. On exhale, things contract. If you'd like, and it's available to you, keeping one hand on your Buddha belly, place your other hand on your heart center. And maybe noticing the pattern of movement of your breath between your upper torso and your belly. And then see if you can begin to extend your breath. When we extend our breath, it engages the relaxation response, allowing us to let go of holding, stress, and tension. At any point, if you notice your mind gets distracted and wants to wander off, know that that's okay. That's the nature of our mind. Simply bring your awareness back to your breath. If you'd like to add a gentle swaying movement to your breathing practice. So maybe move in a way that is so gentle that if I was to look at you, I might not even notice that you're there. And now see if you can add a quality of softness to your breath. So you might imagine you just tasted something delicious. So I'm thinking strawberries. It's June and strawberry month. Strawberry month. Or if you have a fur baby, you might imagine that you're petting your fur kid. And then in a loving way, it's bringing our awareness always back to our breath. And so it's ready, rest your hands on your lap or wherever feels most comfortable for you. And take a moment to notice if you felt a subtle shift in your energy. And so you, the students today who are participating in class, I'm able to see visually. So essentially I just mirrored back, except I added a thumb for 2 thumbs up and regarding the breath awareness practice. And so when we practice these simple breathing exercises, in a way it acts like a bridge between our body and our mind. And so drop your chin towards your chest, gradually blink your eyes open. And so falling awake, not asleep. Falling awake, not asleep. And so relax your arms by your side, turn your palms face up, and let's shake our hands vigorously. So wiggly fidgets, a little more vigorous this time. Get a little bum dance in there if you can. So we all have our own sense of rhythm. Woohoo! Summertime, 2022. Here we is. And then float your arms down. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. So let's repose. Make sure your feet are placed evenly on the floor or on your footrests. So in other words, ground through your feet, center and ground through the soles of your feet. If you happen to have a yoga buddy, the yoga buddy not doing the work for you, however, helping to guide, could place their hands on your ankles and they give you a sensation of grounding. So ground through the soles of your feet. We want to keep our connection with Mother Nature. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. Maybe notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Our belly is soft, spine is long, shoulders back. Look up through the crown of your head. So resting your arms by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. An invitation to tuck your chin in slightly. So if it's helpful, you could put 2 fingers on your chin, imagine a turtle. And from here, we'll come into a gentle warm up for our neck. So it's ready, bring your chin towards your chest. And then looking up, moving your head gently. So maybe your eyes meet where the ceiling meets the wall. And so gentle movement, moving our head up and down. Be mindful not to throw your head back. And as ready, bring your head back to neutral. Take a moment, turn your gaze looking just past your shoulder. Pause and then visualize moving your chin up and down slightly. Imagination is powerful. As ready, move your head back through center, turn your gaze looking past your opposite shoulder. Pause. Visualize moving your chin up and down slightly. As ready, bring your head back to neutral. Drop your ear, move it towards your shoulder, and then moving from side to side. If you'd like, you could maybe place your hand on the outside of your head as you move from side to side. So this is your yoga practice. You choose what feels like a good fit for you. Come back to neutral place with your neck. And so we've moved our neck through its range of motion, pardon me. And now we're going to move down the spine. And so it's ready, coming into practice of cat and cow. If possible, bring your feet so they're wider than the outer hip bone distance. And so knees are tracking over our ankles, toes turned out slightly. Okay. If you happen to have a bolster, something you can place between your knees to keep the knees a little wider apart, go for it. And so here we go, cat and cow. On an inhale, drawing your hands in towards your hip creases, lift your heart, your solar plexus. On exhale, slide your hands towards your knees as you do round your back. As you round your back, pull your belly in towards your spine. On inhale, arch. Lift your heart, lift your throat. On exhale, round. As you round your back, draw your belly in towards your spine. So again, if you have a yoga buddy, the yoga buddy can perhaps place your hands on your belly. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. And slowly come on back to neutral spine. Walk your feet back so that your knees are about hip distance apart. So a little trick might be 2 fists between your knees. So I'm just going to adjust my iPad a wee bit. I haven't figured out how to get all of me in the video. So here we go. And so arms by your side, palms face up, reaching up to the sky. Take a look between your palms. Notice if they're facing each other. If it doesn't create tension in your neck, then return your gaze on the horizon. Fold your fingers in, press into the palms of your hands. There is a marma point, a sensitive point. The palms of our hands, or maybe it feels okay, feels great to place your hands on the back of your head. So today I'm going to press into the palms of my hands. And together we can shout out, I am, I can, and I will. And with a sigh of relief, float your arms down. We'll shake out again. So I had the privilege, short on words, I'm not a wordsmith, but certainly considered a privilege. I studied with Matthew Sanford in Minneapolis, took an introductory to teaching yoga for people living with a disability. He has an amazing story. I encourage you to check him out. He has a book called Waking, bestseller. Loved it. So anyways, one of the things that I heard, and of course this is my interpretation, the 4 sensations that we want to experience in our yoga practice would be grounding. So he would say you have to go down to go up. Expansion, so lengthening. Balance, so the equal distribution of presence throughout our entire body. And rhythm. And so we tend to start losing our sense of rhythm as we age. And so we all have our own sense of rhythm. And so 4 sensations that we hope to experience in our yoga practice: grounding, expansion, balance, and rhythm. So hopefully we'll have an ongoing conversation, albeit, and we'll chat after the class if you want to stick around for a bit, if you have any questions or feedback. So with all that in mind, find a comfortable sitting position. So sit in a way that you're sitting effortlessly upright. Your Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. Lengthen up through your spine. Lift up through the crown of your head. Imagine that beautiful thread pulling you up to the sky. Arms are relaxed by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. And then an invitation to move your fingers. So you tap your fingers on your lap. And then brain game, maybe reversing from pinky to thumbs. So micro movements, visualizing the movements, focusing on what we can do. And then air piano. Turn your palms face up. Bring your fingertips to touch your thumbs. So they might touch, they might not. And stretch. Fingertips to our thumbs. Stretch. Fingertips to our thumbs. Stretch. And when you're ready, extend your arms, stretch your palms. Make tight fists. Draw your elbows back. Stretch your palms, tight fist, draw your elbows back. So you might feel your shoulder blades moving towards each other. Imagine that little blueberry or cherry between your shoulder blades. You want to squish it and stretch. Tight fist, draw your elbows back. And now when you're ready, I want you to imagine that you're driving a motorcycle. Flex and extend your wrists. So motion is lotion. We're getting that synovial fluid flowing into our joints. Mother Nature's WD-40. When you're ready, rest one hand on your lap and then circle your wrist in one direction. Circle your wrist in the opposite direction. And then switch sides. Notice if one wrist is tighter than the other. So we tend to be, as human beings, tighter on one side. Maybe just noticing and reverse the direction. And then when you're ready, pull your arms down by your side. Turn your palms face up. Take your hands to your shoulders. So you can do this one arm at a time or both, whatever feels right for you. And then I want you to imagine that you're drawing circles on the screen in front of you with your elbow points. See if you can create that lovely little Buddha smile, a little half smile. So smiles are contagious. They also create saliva. So we want a nice juicy mouth, juicy body. So we all know what it's like to go to the dentist and then reverse the direction. Take a pause anytime you'd like or on my cue. Feel free to come back into the movement or take a rest. And then as you're ready, float your arms down. Shake out again. And take a moment to notice any subtle sensations. So trust that the sensations are there. Notice how's your breath. So moving on at this point, if you happen to have a yoga strap or a house coat, tie, whatever you have that you're able to take hold of with both your hands, I'd like you to place it so that it's shoulder width apart. If you need it a little wider, go for it, but at least shoulder width apart. And a friend of mine introduced a yoga strap that was adapted for people living with disabilities, and it actually has loops at the end of the strap that at various places. So, yes, which I will be purchasing a few, and I'll send you that information later if you like. So if you don't, like I said, if you don't have a yoga strap, maybe an IT band works. I haven't tried IT bands, so whatever works for you, and or might be a stick of some kind. And so moving on, just trying to refocus here. Sitting up tall, your feet are firmly placed on the earth, not the air. As you're ready, on inhale, reach up. So press against the belt. Reach up to your place. And just breathe. And then as ready, release. So let's practice this 2 more times. So on inhale, things expand. Pressing against the yoga strap or belt. And release. So for whatever reason today you are not practicing the movement, I'd like to invite you to visualize the movement. Feel as though you are doing it. And so imagination is power. So energy flows where breath, where life flows, where breath. And so you can take a regular. So Jacques, I'm just going to move in. Someone's giving a little feedback here. Jacques says you can take a regular strap and tie the loops at the ends along the length. No need to buy special equipment. Oh, cool. There you go. So from one of your peers in the know. So here we go. Reaching up on an inhale, press against the belt. And release. So let's practice one more movement with the strap. I'd like you to bring it wider this time because we're going to come from reaching our arms up into a side bend. And so if you know balance is a challenge for you, please have whatever device it is you need to keep you stable in your chair. And so you are the world-class expert on your body. So I will do my best to guide you. And so I'm trusting you're all taking good care. And so a little bit wider. And so again, on inhale, reach up. So lengthen your spine so we can create space between our vertebrae. And then as ready, tip to the side. Inhale, reach up to the sky and then bend to the side. So maybe think of a willow tree if that helps. Inhale, lengthen, and release. So set your yoga strap aside. Give your arms a little shake out. Take a moment and feel your work. So in a way, the yoga happens between the poses and the movements. Notice how you feel. So it is not about what the shapes look like that we made, what we look like. The diagnostic tool is, how do I feel? No judgment. Yoga meets us right where we are. And so moving on, I'd like to come into practice to help find our balance. And so balance the equal distribution of presence throughout our entire body. So worth repeating, balance the equal distribution of presence throughout our entire body. So sitting up nice and tall, your feet are firmly planted on your footrest or the floor. On inhale, lengthen your spine. On your exhale, hinging from the hips, come forward a little. So you might be taking hold of the underside of your chair. Maybe it feels good to have soft fists or open palms at your hips. And then rock back. So an invitation to keep this gentle movement flowing in your own time and rhythm. For a few more breaths, for as long as feels comfortable. And so it's not about seeing how far we can go. We just come to that just right amount of effort and ease. So it can be interesting to close our eyes as we practice these movements. So if you're visualizing, feel as though you are doing the movement. If you have an electric chair with the ability to rock forward and back, that might be a lovely alternative as well. And slowly come on back to a neutral spine. Relax your arms by your side, rest your hands on your lap, and take a moment to let your belly soften, your breath quiet. And so if some of you are wondering what that strange sound in the background is, that is Charlie the rooster. And so when you're ready, arms by your side, reach towards the earth. So you can hold on to the side of your chair for stability. Might inhale to one side, exhale to the other side. If it works for you, maybe imagine that you're between two panes of glass, or shoulders are stacked over shoulders. If you have armrests, it might feel good to rest your forearms on your armrests. And slowly come on back to a neutral spine. Rest your hands on your lap. Take a moment, and from here you'll come into a seated twist. And so it's ready, alternating, twisting from side to side. So you might notice that it feels natural to draw our hands in towards our hips as we practice this gentle twist. So we are not going to our full range of motion. This is a gentle twist. Remember your little Buddha smile. Smile if you're happy or not. Come on back to a neutral spine. Take a moment. Let your belly soften. And notice how you feel. So from here, I'd like to share a practice with you. I don't know where I got it from, but I call it stirring the pot. So different names for different movements and poses. And so when you're ready, you draw your hands in towards your hip creases. So if you have wrist, thumb, hand stuff going on, might feel better to have your hands in soft fists. So hips down and back a little bit. And then as ready, circle your heart forward. And then circle your heart back. And so this gentle movement can feel a little strange if you're not accustomed to it. So move with your breath. So when we move with our breath, magical things happen. And then as ready, reverse the direction. And as you begin to feel your hips and lower back soften and release a little, see if you can go a little bit deeper. So we're moving our shoulders towards our knees. Of course, we're not coming all the way down. So bring a gentle awareness to the space in front of you. Bring your awareness to the space beside you. Notice how that makes you feel. And bring your awareness to the space above you, and especially an invitation to explore bringing your awareness to the space behind you. And trust that you are being supported. And so I like to think in terms of we are being supported. And slowly as ready, come on back to neutral spine. Relax your arms by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. And then take a moment to let your belly soften, let your breast settle. And so I'd like you to imagine now that your arms are like seaweed. And so seaweed at the bottom of the ocean. And so move in ways that you don't typically move. And so we all have our own sense of rhythm. And so the seaweed at the bottom of the ocean is making its way up towards the light. So stretch into the stretch. Get bigger in space. We tend to shrink. So now we're getting into the deeper tissue in our body, the connective tissue that runs all through our body. Notice where your body is talking to you and send your breath there. Then moving on, maybe find a place where you're not feeling so much energy moving through. So all the more reason to send our life force, our breath to those places. And then slowly finish up wherever your body is still talking to you. And then come on back to stillness. And rest your hands on your lap, palm up or down as desired. And notice how's your breath, our old friend, our breath. Notice any subtle sensations. So it's not going to be a rocket ship across the sky. So it might be a hum, maybe an energy feel moving through. spine that you didn't feel earlier. Maybe a bit of tingling, heat, coolness. So I don't have my watch today. I'm just going to check the time. Okay, so moving on. I'd like to invite you to repose. So let's come into a practice called body tapping, which is really fun practice to get our juices flowing a little bit. And so I'd like to invite you to reach across to your shoulder, maybe up a little higher. You can to the base, bottom of your ear and tap. Reach back, give yourself a pat on the back. And then tap down along your arm. And palm face up, tap up. And then reach across to the other side. So again, this is a practice you can practice with a yoga buddy. Setting an intention of loving kindness. Tap down to your shoulder, reach back, give yourself a pat on the back. Tap down along your arm. Turn your palm face up, tap up. Just going to turn the iPad away from the sun a little bit. Being blinded by the light, not that I'm complaining. Let's make it a little closer. And so tap, take your fingertips to the back of your neck if possible, and tap them up to the crown of your head. And tap. Maybe even actually imagine you're shampooing your hair. It's a little bit of Indian head massage here. So I traveled all the way to India to learn some Indian head massage, so you don't have to go. And then tap your face, gentle, love taps. And then when you're ready, if you'd like, tap the outside of your corners of your eyebrows. You're wearing glasses, you might want to remove them. Tap the inside corners of your eyebrows. Tap underneath dust nose, under your nose. Tap your chin. Tap underneath your collarbones. Be careful, I have a microphone. Reach across to your armpit. So if you're wearing a bra, about halfway down your bra strap. And again, tap the outside corners of your eyebrows. Is your belly soft, your breath quiet? Inside corners of your eyebrows. Underneath your nose. Your chin. Under your collarbones. Reach across your armpit. And release. So just take a moment. And then when you're ready, I'd like you to lean back in your chair. So again, my apologies. I'm going to have to adjust the iPad a little bit. And you get a little view of the back 40. So I'm on half an acre in Half Moon Bay on the Sunshine Coast. My beloved cedar trees back there. I don't know if you can see them, but and a huge bucket of thyme. All right. So just having a dusty shelf moment. That's when I forget where I was. It's kind of you leave the space and it's like, what did I come in here for? So body tapping. Oh yeah. So this is a lovely piece. So you lean back in your chair, take your hands to your Buddha belly and massage your organs. Soft Buddha belly. Not an easy place to get to in our culture. We are running 1,000,000 miles an hour. And so it's a lot easier to run 1,000,000 miles an hour, I suppose, because that comes from a primal place, limbic brain. But if we can move into a quieter place, our belly softens. Or balanced place. And then if you'd like, maybe reach back or you can imagine that I'm massaging your lower back if you'd like. Take some of that loving energy from your hands, healing energy. And up a little higher where your kidneys and adrenal glands live. So kidneys and adrenal glands are close to the surface. And adrenal glands are almond shaped and they sit on top of our kidneys. So important to keep this area warm. And then when you're ready, if you want, you can take one hand. So press down, sit up comfortably, and then sweep your hands forward. So letting go, inhale, let, exhale, go. And then when you're ready, let's sweep down along our thighs or knees, taking that loving energy from your hands. Maybe down along your shins, your feet, wherever you can reach comfortably. Oh, I just heard a fly. To me, that's always an indication that summer's here. So come on back up. And then when you're ready, one more time, sweeping down along your legs. And then come on back up. So place your hands so they're just a few inches apart. Soften your gaze or close your eyes softly if that works for you. And notice any subtle sensations. So maybe your hands move apart a little. So on inhale, things expand. On exhale, things contract. Turn your palms face up, reach up to the sky. So maybe feeling a lightness. And then palms face down, a grounding sensation. So on inhale, I'd like to invite you to turn your palm up, reaching up to the sky, gazing past your middle finger if you like. Palm face down, release. So moving with grace and ease, other side, spiral your palm open, gazing past your middle finger, reach up to the sky. Slowly float down. So arms by our side, come into your mountain pose. Reach your hands to your heart center. Take your hands to your heart center, palms open or palms together. Reach up into a gentle back bend. Then maybe our hands come together in prayer down through to the heart. So bowing our head towards our heart gives us a little nerve flossing for our neck. So one more round, arms come into your mountain pose. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up to the sky. Maybe our hands come together in prayer down through to the heart. Place one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center. And take a moment to feel the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And so we're going to come down off the mountain. And so come on, seated back in your chair comfortably for a short guided meditation and your final relaxation. And so for the meditation today, if you'd like to sit comfortably in your chair, I'd like to share a practice with you called mudras. So mudras are hand gestures created to help us focus our mind. And so one that I fell in love with recently is a Buddhist. I learned in a Buddhist teacher training and for meditation. It's called the mudra of calm abiding. So hands are placed face down on our lap. And draw your hands in towards your hip creases. And you can have your eyes. I'm going to suggest maybe invite you to explore keeping your eyes a soft gaze. So maybe on the floor if you 3 or 4 feet in front of you. And so when we bring our hands into this lovely mudra, an invitation, if you'd like to think of it as connecting with your higher self or your higher power. Look down and into your heart, see what you can see. And then breathe into your heart. And breathing. So we'll sit and take a few breaths together. A gentle reminder. Breathing. And come into whatever comfortable position you'd like for your final relaxation. And so if you have the ability to recline in your chair, go for it. If you have an eye pillow that you'd like to place on your eyes, so eye pillows are little pillows with little seeds in them, and really need to let you know that if you are using an eye pillow, make sure the weight doesn't go directly onto your eyes. The weight comes to the middle of our forehead, so third eye. Adjust your lighting, do whatever you need. If you'd like a blanket on your lap, that can encourage a grounding sensation. And so roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. So we are not scrunching our shoulder blades together, but allowing our shoulders to soften away from our ears. Relax your arms by your side or wherever feels most comfortable for you. And so palms could be face up or down as desired. Close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. So soft palms, soft Buddha belly, the area between our navel and our pubic bone. Quiet breath. Allow your breath to reflect the pose. Serenity pose. Relax your jaw. Unclench your teeth. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. Soften around your temples. And soften the area between your eyebrows. Wide forehead. Silently, if you'd like, on inhale, saying let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Om Namo. If it's challenging to quiet the mind, sometimes placing our hands on our Buddha belly and bringing our awareness to our breath can be helpful. So without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. Thank your body again. Our bodies are the best home our mind will ever have. And now see if you can begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes, hands and feet, waking up. And then as ready, come on up, seated comfortably to finish your yoga practice. So thank you, everyone. If you set an intention at the beginning of the practice, bring it back to mind. And then let it go. So the teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. Kasar, my lovely tech host, and I was going to say the back 40, but in the background is huge help. And of course, ConnecTogether, I'd like to thank ConnecTogether, the Disability Foundation, for providing this opportunity for us to practice yoga. So India's gift to the West, yoga. So to all my teachers and to each of you, thank you. And I'm going to stop talking now. I embarrassed myself. Like, I don't want to be a talking head. So feel free to hang out for a little after for questions or feedback. Otherwise, I look forward to when we meet again.
That was a nice class, Bobbie. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sally. Lovely to see you.
Nice to see you in your yard too.
Yes. One of these days I'll explore bringing the iPad into the trees, but I'd have to tiptoe through a lot of bunny hoops right now. Oh.
And is there one more of these classes, this series, or?
Well, the great news is I've been invited to teach until the new year. So we're good to go.
Yay.
So back to back. I'll always be here unless, something comes up. And if it does, I let ConnecTogether know, and they're really good at letting everybody know who's registered for the class. And, but it's rare that anything. So you can plan on it. I also have 2 workshops coming up at Park. One in July, for those of you who might be interested. Lovely Karma will be co-teaching. It's an amazing story. There's a film being made about her as we speak. And she'll be co-teaching with me. And that's on the 22nd from 11 to 1. And there'll be an Ayurvedic piece where we'll have really good eats after physical practice in the lobby.
Where do we register for this?
You're registered left. Just told me. I have to put together a poster and all that jazz, but it's all been, Millie has just given her lovely hearts. So I'll be back teaching in the fall, but I thought as a way to reconnect, because it feels like a long time now, and the long weekend after the September long weekend. So reconnect, and more, I'll send you info as the days unfold. I'm a bit of a stumble, so I have to be careful that I do what a friend of mine reminded me, and it's I shared it with Michael earlier, dear friend, and she texted me that the hardest spiritual practice of all is self-care. And so making sure I don't stumble on my way to Vancouver. Anyway,
Well,
good to
I'm
see
off
you.
to the Sunshine Coast on the 29th
What?
for Canada Day weekend. I'm celebrating with my friends in Half Moon Bay.
Out.
I'm serious.
Oh my
So,
God.
so is the ice cream parlor open?
Of course. We're rocking on weekends. Yeah, for sure. On the
Okay.
20th. Open 7 days a week from 11 till 9.
Okay. We'll see you soon.
Bobbie, thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, Bobbie.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Look at that beautiful smile, Carrie. Bye, guys.
Okay, see you guys next week.